All right. Today, we're diving into a new AI framework called Memento, and it's trying to solve one of the biggest, most frustrating problems in AI by giving it something it desperately needs, a real memory. I mean, we've all been there, right? You spend all this time teaching your AI assistant something new, a preference, a fact, maybe a specific workflow, and then boom, the next day, it's totally gone. That knowledge just vanishes. And it's not just annoying, it actually points to a huge fundamental limit in how most AI agents are built today. See, this whole forgetfulness thing, it's at the heart of what you could call the AI learning dilemma. Building agents that can actually learn from what they do and get better over time, well, that turns out to be one of the toughest nuts for developers to crack. Until now, we've basically been stuck between a rock and a hard place. You have two kind of flawed options. On one side, you've got your static agents. They're super fast, super reliable, but they're rigid. They just can't learn from new interactions. Then you have retrained agents. Now, these can learn, but the catch is you have to retrain the entire model, which is incredibly slow and ridiculously expensive. It's this classic, frustrating trade-off between speed and smarts. So, this leads us to the big, multi-million-dollar question the researchers behind Memento were trying to answer. How do we get the best of both worlds? How can we build an AI that learns all the time, but without that crippling cost of constant retrain? And to find the answer, they did something really smart. They looked away from the computers, and they turned their attention to the most efficient learning machines on the planet, us. They took their inspiration from the way we humans learn and remember.
And their core insight was this: the way forward isn't just about throwing more processing power at the problem. No, the real breakthrough comes from designing a better, much more efficient way for an AI to actually remember.
Just think about how you process an experience. Your brain goes through this really cool process. First, you encode it, you save it. Then you distill it. You figure out the key takeaways. Then you reinforce that memory based on what happened. Was it good? Was it bad? And here's the crucial part. You retrieve it when you face a similar problem later on.
Now, this whole process actually has a name in science. It's called case-based reasoning. It's a really simple but powerful idea. We solve new problems by basically thinking, hey, wait a minute, have I seen something like this before? We recall a similar case from our past, and we adapt its solution for right now. And that is the foundation Memento is built on.
So, this brings us to Memento itself. And honestly, the best way to think about it is as an AI agent that keeps a diary. A super detailed, totally searchable log of every single thing it's ever tried to do.
So how does this whole thing work under the hood? Well, Memento has three key parts. First, there's the planner, which breaks down a big, complex task into smaller, manageable steps. Then you have the executor. It uses tools like a web browser or a code interpreter to actually get those steps done. And then the real heart of the system, the case bank. This is the AI's diary. It's an external memory that records everything, every plan, every action, every outcome, the good, the bad, the wins, and the losses. And here is the magic trick. When Memento gets a new task, it doesn't have to retrain its entire brain. No, it just flips through its diary, the case bank, finds a similar problem from the past, and uses that experience as a roadmap. It's literally learning by recalling, not by relearning everything from scratch.
Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but does it actually work? Well, the researchers put Memento through its paces with some incredibly difficult tests to find out.
So, this is the Gaia benchmark, which is a notoriously tough test for AIs, full of really complex, multi-step problems. And the results? They speak for themselves. Memento hits almost 88% accuracy. That's way ahead of the other top agents. It's a really commanding lead.
And there it is, the number that really matters, 87.88%. That score was enough to land Memento in the #1 spot. We are not talking about a tiny little improvement here. This is a top-tier, world-class performance.
But okay, you might be thinking, how much of this is really because of that memory diary? I mean, what happens if you take the case bank away? That's a great question, and the researchers ran an experiment to find out exactly that.
And wow, the results pretty much tell the whole story. When they tested it on new tasks it had never seen before, the version with the memory saw its performance jump by up to 9.6%. That right there is the direct, measurable proof of how valuable giving an AI a good memory is, especially when it's facing something brand new.
And hey, just to put a final stamp on it, here's the official GIA leaderboard from June of 2025. And yep, you can see Memento sitting right there at the top, really cementing its status as one of the best agents out there.
So let's zoom out for a second. What does all this mean for the future? Because this is about more than just one smart AI getting a high score on a test. This could be a fundamental shift in how we build AI from the ground up.
So what's the big takeaway? Memento shows us a practical, efficient way to build AI agents that actually, truly learn from experience. They can adapt on the fly, in real time, without all that expensive retraining, getting just a little bit smarter with every single thing they do.
And that leaves us with a final, really exciting thought. Just imagine a world where our AI assistants aren't just static tools, but they're true partners that learn and evolve right alongside us, remembering everything we've ever done together. When that happens, what becomes possible then?